Hello students, this week we are learning vectors. So today we solve some problems related to the vectors. Okay, the first problem is as following. Consider we are given a vector A which is equal to 2i plus 3j. So what we need to find is first its magnitude. What is the magnitude of the vector A? And second, so we have to draw this vector on Cartesian coordinate system, two-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system. So you see this vector has two components, x and y components. Now let's draw this vector in two-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, this is x and this is y. So x component of the vector is equal to 2, okay, and the y component of the vector is equal to 3. So this vector is given by this arrow. So this is a vector which is equal to 2i plus 3j. To find the magnitude of the vector, so graphically we need to find the length of this arrow, this part, right? So we are given this which is equal to 2 and this side which is equal to 3. So using the Pythagoras theorem we can find the magnitude of a vector. First let's denote that the magnitude of a vector as just a. So if there is no arrow above the a letter, then it means it is the magnitude of a vector, right? Now, so a is equal to square root of a x square plus a y square, where ax is equal to 2 and ay is equal to 3. So it's equal to square root of 4 plus 9, and it is square root of 13. Now consider that the vector is given in three-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system. For example, our a vector is equal to 2i plus 3j plus, for example, k. Okay, there is also z component, right? Or we can also write it as how a is equal to 2, this is the first component, x component, ax, 3 and 1. 3 is the y component of the vector and 1 is the z component. Now in this case, how do we find the magnitude of the vector? So magnitude of the vector in three-dimensional case, it is square root of ax square plus ay square plus there is also az square. Okay, so this is the formula which you need to keep in mind. Okay, if we insert the numbers, then we will get square root of 4 plus 9 plus 1, so it is square root of 14. As a homework, you have to find the magnitude of the following Okay, let's write it homework 1. So find the magnitude of the following vector. A is equal to 4i minus 3j and plus 2k. Okay, what is the magnitude of this vector? Okay, then let's move to the next problem. Consider we are given two vectors, A and B vectors. For example, take A vector as the vector above, 4i minus 3j plus 2k, and B vector as 6i plus 2j. Now let's find A plus B vector. How do we add two vectors? So the addition of these two vectors, so we have to add corresponding components, right? So the formula is like this: ax plus bx, ay plus by, az plus bz. So it is 4 plus 6, 10, minus 3 plus 2, it is minus 1, and 2 plus 0, which is equal to 2. Okay, now as a homework, please find A minus B vector. In the next problem, consider A and B vectors are given. Let's take these expressions. Okay, so A and B vectors are given as following, and we need to find 2a plus 3b vector. Okay, so what do we need to do to find 2a plus 3b vector? To do so, first let's find 2a vector. So 2a vector is equal to, so we have to multiply each component of the vector a by 2, right? So it is 8i minus 6j plus, okay, 2 multiplied 2, it is 4k. Now 3b is equal to 3 multiplied 6, it is 18i plus, so it is j, right? J vector. So 2 multiplied 3, it is 6j. Now we can calculate 2a plus 3b vector. So it is equal to 8 plus 18. So it is 26i so 6 minus 6j plus 6j, so it is 0, right? So there is no any y component, and plus 4k. or we can also write it as 26, so it is x component, y component is equal to 0, and z component is equal to 4, right? So this is the final result. As a homework, I think it is homework 3, right? As a homework, please find 3a plus 2b vector. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Problem 5. Consider two vectors are given, a and b vectors. A vector is equal to 1, 2, and minus 1. And b vector is equal to 3, 1, and minus 2. So, okay, the question is, what is the scalar product of A and B vectors? Okay, so to find scalar product, we have to multiply the corresponding components and we have to add them, right? So the formula is as following. It is a1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus a3 b3, right? a1 is equal to 1, a2 is equal to 2, a3 is equal to minus 1. Similarly, b1 is equal to 3, b2 is equal to 1, and b3 is equal to minus 2. Now, if we insert these numbers into our equations, then we will get 1 multiplied 3 plus 2 multiplied 1 plus minus 1 multiplied minus 2. So it's equal to 3 plus 2 plus 2, right? So it is 7. Now, as a homework, please find, okay, so A and B vectors are given as above. So A vector is equal to 1, 2, and minus 1, the components, and B vector components are given as 3, 1, and minus 2. Then what is the angle between A and B vector? Okay, so A and B vectors are given here. Okay, nice. Okay, in the next problem, it's problem 6. Consider we are given two vectors, A and B vectors, and one of the vectors depends time. So let's say A vector is given as 10i minus 2t. So here t is time, okay? J vector, and the second vector B is equal to 5i plus 5j. So you see, A vector depends to time. So we have to find the time when A vector is perpendicular to the vector B, okay? So I hope the question is understandable. To find this time, first we have to write that when A and B are perpendicular to each other, then it means their scalar product is equal to 0, right? Because the angle between them is 90 degrees and cosine 90 degrees is equal to 0. So let's find their scalar product then. A scalar product with B vector is equal to, so 10 multiplied 5 plus, so A2 is equal to minus 2t, right? Multiplied B2, so it is equal to 5. According to this relationship, it should be equal to 0. So scalar product should be equal to 0. So from this equation, we can find t, right? So 10t is equal to 50. And from this equation, t is equal to 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds, A vector and B vector will become perpendicular.